PhD in record time. What do I say? And then I was looking for a challenge. And I worked with a few of my colleagues in the School of Computing, and we started the idea of C4D Labs. For 2 to 3 years, it was more like coordinating, working with students, trying to promote innovation within the student community, and largely within the School of Computing and a few people from the college. So, it was like a startup, and so we needed to kind of figure out what's the business model, how could this possibly work? We didn't have funding, we only just had physical space, and we had some little furniture from some partner. So after that, we realized that yes, we could incubate startups, we could develop student ideas, and so on and so forth. So after some 2 to 3 years, we kind of got a bearing, and we started getting funding from different partners, and we got we started seeing how we could contribute effectively to the ecosystem. So to fast forward, C4D Lab basically is positioning itself as a center, an innovation center that has an African-wide reach, focused on solving local challenges in a multidisciplinary manner, and applying methodologies like design thinking, user-centered design, using technology as well as a tool to enable meaningful and sustainable solutions to local challenges. Now, in order to achieve that, there are very many ingredients in between there. We are trying as much as possible to build our capacity on identifying problems. So the methodologies of identifying and framing challenges, 1. 2 is we're trying to build partners who help us to get good and meaningful problems. We're trying to build our technology so that it is good for harvesting challenges. That's at the problem stage. Then we are investing in building capacity on methodologies for problem solving. So all these tools, all these design thinking methodologies are things we are absorbing, multidisciplinarity, and so on and so forth. Then post the solution creation process, we are seeing ourselves incubate startups which are outputs of that process.
Yes.
Or we could have products that we can, give to the market. So incubation is towards the end of that pipe, call it acceleration and so forth. And then, of course, solutions that are meaningful to society. We work with students, we work with partners, we work with other institutions. That's in reach, that's our space.
Yeah, that's good. You have mentioned that you started in 2013, and you have also mentioned a number of challenges. And we feel that you have faced some challenges that every business will face, such as support, things to do with funding and infrastructure. I'm interested to know, since 2013, when did you first post your first startups?
I don't have very good memory of this, but I think somewhere around 2013 we did try to pilot incubation. And the first cohort might be somewhere around 2014-15. And that's the time we also did the Nairobi Innovation Week, because at that time it was starting to be very clear what the contribution we can make in the ecosystem. So our first startups could be somewhere around 2014, 2015.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what is your day-to-day operation like for the C4D?
Yes. Now that you also mentioned the question of challenges, I will list quite a number of them, unless there's a different question along that later. Of course, funding, because the university did not give funding. We basically were given space and said, okay, try that idea. So it took a lot of energy and commitment and a desire to make it happen as a typical startup. And we went through all those excitement, and you think it's good, maybe it's not working, and then finally it kind of takes off. So and then along that journey, I had to make certain choices about what I prioritize on so that this C4D does not collapse. My priorities shifted more and more towards partnerships and fundraising and creating value proposition for partners to be involved. Otherwise, we would collapse. So your question was...
what's your day-to-day operation?
Oh, day-to-day operation. So, as the CEO, so to speak, of C4D, I have prioritized fundraising, partnerships, and value proposition creation. So our fundraising methodology is around what is the value for whoever is giving you funding? So just a few minutes ago when you guys were coming in, I was finishing a call for an EU program that could run as many as 5 years. And it is an equivalent of 300 million shillings. Now, when we started, we used to do projects, small projects, because that's what we could really manage, because of capacity and experience and so on and so forth. Now we have a space, we have a brand, we have a profile of initiatives we've done over time. We don't negotiate as underdogs when we're discussing partnerships now. We negotiate as equals with experience, because we are able to prove that we've done this successfully and so on and so forth. So my day heavily involves around partnerships, value creation, trying to do resource mobilization. And then two is, of course, to manage the entity. We have meetings, we follow up on different programs and activities that we have, and then linking C4D Lab to the university. So I kind of I try to minimize, because we've also grown an administrative system. So we've got an administrator, we've got programs, we've got some help, driver, music. So I try to avoid operational things as much as possible and try to focus more on strategic.
Yeah, and that leads me to my next question.
Yes.
Of course, you don't work alone, you have maybe a team of members.
Yeah.
And how have you structured this team so that it supports the operation of C4D?
Yeah, so when I was asked to be a coordinator of C4D Lab, I had no experience in managing an entity. So there has been a lot of learning by doing and guesswork, make mistakes, and figure it out. So slowly but surely it started becoming clear that for us to be effective, we had to build some kind of structure. But again, when you didn't have the people and the funding, so you can't even build a structure. So I was a jack of all trades. I used to write memos, I used to deliver, I used to move around, go to partner meetings, then go and manage processes internally and so on and so forth. So now we've reached a point where we've got an administrative system of 3 people.
Yes.
One is like running the office. All the paperwork moves, filing, performance contracting, and so on and so forth. All our MOUs, working through them. That's one. Then the other one is around the procurement processes, service deliveries, and provisions and so on and so forth. And then thirdly is more the movements. So we have someone who does move the documents around. So that's administrative. Then within the C4D, we've got programs. So we've got the incubation program, and so we have someone in charge of that. We've got the other support system. Of course, we've got like the web, the social media, the communication. So we have some kind of a team that people focusing on programs, and then the people who providing various forms of support.
Are there any challenges that you face with this team in terms of skills and competencies?
Yes and no. There's some who have been there for a long time, like we've worked together, we've seen the hard times together, and things are looking a little more stable. So they understand the culture, they understand the needs and the taste of C4D Lab. So we have really no problem. Because every time we get new people, and we have to kind of acclimatize. Some of them think C4D is like 1 billion worth initiative, so they can sleep half the time and still be paid a lot of money. So there are skills and cultural issues that we struggle with, but slowly we try to orient people. And my vision is that in some year or so, when we get a new person, they have to go through a very rigorous orientation process so that they really understand where we come from and the culture. But we are also selective the way we engage people. You see, we have an advantage of being in university. So we try to bring interns at an early stage, and then we groom them over time to kind of come up and also take some responsibilities. So that we haven't struggled. Where I think we have a challenge is that I am largely the only one involved in more the proposal issues, the engagement with partners, and so on and so forth. Now, to succeed in proposals, you need a big team, and you need skills, and because you're shooting, sometimes you miss, sometimes you don't. So I wish we can strengthen our research proposal or our grant proposal team, but that comes with time.
All right. So we'll come back to that later, but it seems that incubation is one of your main activities.
Correct.
And in this incubation, do you engage startups?
Yes. Yes.
No. Can you briefly tell us your process of bringing them on board, from when it starts, the criteria that you apply, until the supports that you provide to them until they exit.
So when we started, out of being naive, we were open to all manner of ideas, all manner of domains, all manner of groups, and we used to be very ambitious, doing 10, 12 startups, 2 cohorts in a year. And after about 2 years, we figured out we were burning out and probably not achieving as much. Second, we didn't have funding. Because if you're taking startups and you need to provide mentorship and you need to provide some tools and so on and so forth, if you don't have someone underwriting that cost, because we don't make money out of startups, we don't take equity, so it's just difficult. So the last 3 years, we've kind of reorganized ourselves. We focus on very few domains. We currently have mobility, and we actually, that's the main one. That's the main one. The other one is evolving, but hasn't taken shape yet. So we focus on mobility. So we look for startups that are addressing mobility, and why is because we have someone underwriting the cost. So somehow we are a little shaped by where does the funding come from. We run a call and we take anything between 5 and 8 startups per year. Now we used to do 2 cohorts when we started, and we discovered that's too much trouble. So once a year, 1 cohort. Take enough time to prepare and do a good job. We've got a set of mentors. Some from within the institution and from elsewhere, and we've built an ecosystem. We've got a set of service providers that give services to these startups. That could be business development, business modeling, financial management, legal services, and so on and so forth. So when we run the call, we kind of receive anything around 20 to 40 startups, and we end up with 5 to 8. It takes about 6 months to graduate from the program, and we don't spend too much effort on developing the models and thinking through the business, the problem. It's about refining. We are assuming that you already know what you're doing, you have a team, and you are operating. So we're trying to improve your businesses by bringing support. And then we graduate using a summit, so we organize an event at the end and try to bring as many partners as possible, and we make it look cool. And we have partners, in this case GIZ and Shell Foundation.
Help us understand what you mean by you run a call. What is the linkage?
So the running of the call, what we do is, when we started, our approach was we have a portal, a website, and we make an announcement and we put an open date and a closing date, and then people fill a form. We have a lot of questions that we will ask. But we have refined that a little bit. By only focusing on mobility, we have an opportunity to really understand the ecosystem better. So we actually know the startups. Now we've built that kind of, we know who these guys are. And now we've expanded, we are in Kenya and Uganda. So we know, we have focal points in Uganda. We now have a list of about 20 startups that we could easily admit. When we run a call, it's just to be transparent in the process. So if we apply, but by and large, we have an idea who might admit. And then we have a seeding mechanism. So after a deadline, people will evaluate and we'll select these are the startups, and then we onboard them. I don't know if I've answered everything in the context.
No, saying that you kind of feel that you limit the number of startups that you can engage. Do you feel that you give a fair chance to every startup in the ecosystem?
Okay, so when we started, we had a wide range. And you could do agri-tech, health tech, edu-tech, you name it. So we were very excited at that. And we discovered that we are not effective. So yeah, you're trying to give everyone a chance, but you're also not able to give whoever you have invited a fair deal. So you can give everyone a chance, but you can't give them a fair deal. The more you focus, the more you understand the space, and the more you can be useful. And you think global. You're trying to get the right partners across the world. You're trying to get the best knowledge about that particular subject, so that by the time you meet a startup, you really give them value. So, then like I said, it is not just our wish that we only focus in one area and we only take a few startups. It has also to do with the funding, that you have to run a process. We are not a private entity, so we're not in business we are not making profit in order to churn it back and so forth. We depend on some other ways of funding what we're trying to do. And so that limits our ability, but it is deliberate for now. You've got to start somewhere and begin to scale. We started this way and discovered we needed to start here. So get your methodologies right, because we are not even professional incubators ourselves, so we had to learn the process. So start small, do it well, attract good partners, and then begin to scale it. So in the course of time, we definitely would open up not only to this, to just mobility, but also to other disciplines, as we've gotten the right partners around it and we have good practices.
Just a follow-up question to that. Now that you have identified the specific area that you're targeting as of now, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
So 5 years down the road, you know, partly because when you run an organization, you have to have the funds to support your team. You know, more that you guys will work there. And currently we run with what we have. Okay, so we are growing our capacity to attract more funding, and that will mean we will be able to scale our team and then scale our services. Okay, so my sense is that in 5 years, C4D Lab should be having its own bigger space. We have a limited space where we are. Our team should be larger. Even our terms of engagement with the team, like the kind of contracts we sign, how much are we able to compensate staff, and so on and so forth, will significantly have improved, partly because now we've started dealing with big grants. I see us having greater impact, so that means we could be admitting more startups, and we'll channel more startups in the process. So what I can see is, yes, in very many ways I can identify the bullet points, but I can see us scale almost everything that we're doing. We've gotten our model. It has taken us about 5 years to know the space that we can contribute, the kind of partners that we can work with, government agencies, blah, 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 blah. And we've also understood our internal system on how we fit within the system. Now, having gotten it right, the sweet spot is a question of scaling it. And we know how to scale it.
Given that if money was not a problem, what kind of support would you offer to these startups?
The greatest thing I would like to promote is mindset. It's the right mindset. You see, there is a little bit of an assumption that if you have an idea in your mind, it's going to fly. There is a big problem around the mindset of founders or people who have ideas. Now, and I must qualify, founder is not a founder until we have a business. Anything before then, to me, is a hobby. Is a guy who's excited about a hobby. Now, so the mindset of what it takes to develop these startups evolves around many things. Very well understanding the problem. So I would like to invest in people that they need to invest a lot of time to understand the problem. You guys are now doing your field work. It's been several months of trying to immerse yourself to the problem before you actually do the data collection. Mindset around teams, like how you construct your team to enable you to move your ideas forward, multidisciplinarity, and so on and so forth. Mindset around how funding comes your way. So I would like to help people to strengthen their capacities around that. Mindset about how to sustain customers or run a business. In fact, running the business doesn't even bother me as much because there are general practices. But the development of the idea to become a meaningful business is a journey that has to have the right mindset. Now, our education system is structured such that it is sequential, it is serial. Build step after step. Okay? That's number one. Enterprises don't run like that. Now, in education, you are evaluated on the basis of what have you mastered, what knowledge have you acquired, and so on and so forth. Business does not evaluate you on the basis of that. It evaluates you on, do you have a customer? Did you meet the needs of that customer? So you see the rules of the game are different. Yes. Here, you conform. Yes. Here, you try to break the rules. Yes. Okay? Yes. Here, the clock is important. Here, you cannot run with the spirit of a clock. I mean, if you haven't got it, you haven't got it. You can't pretend to run. So you see that requires a different shift. And if the education system has wired people to think so sequentially and systematically, then the risk of not succeeding is very high. And that's what we're trying to help people get the mindset right. Because if you get the mindset right, then you manage your pace, then you make your steps in a more calculated manner because you're taking a risk, and you minimize the likelihood of failure. and then the probability of success is high. So if I got the mindset right in people, then I think I will address very many